Does this video feel somewhat impromptu? It is. Tomorrow, the 8th of June, in the UK, it is the general election. If any of you from outside of the UK, this general election wasn't anticipated and was a snap election called by our Prime Minister but a few months ago, so it took everybody by surprise, and the parties have been out there campaigning like crazy to get you to vote for them. But this is actually my third general election that I'll be voting in, as well as having voted in numerous Scottish parliamentary elections and council elections in the past. So I thought, based on what I'm seeing online and a little bit of confusion going on around the different information in this general election and how to vote, I might be able to provide just some little bits of helpful advice for those of you that may be voting for the first time, or just a little bit apprehensive and unsure and don't want to mess anything up, because your vote is incredibly important. A lot of this information might seem super basic and obvious to some of you, but like I said, it's not necessarily directed at you, so please forgive me for being a little bit repetitive if you've heard this all before. But like I said, the general election is taking place on the 8th, that's Thursday the 8th, 2017. Polling stations are open from 7 AM to 10 PM. You can double check this with your polling station online or on your polling card, but that is the standard opening hours of any polling station, and hopefully that will provide you with plenty of time to get there if you are voting in person. Unfortunately, it is too late to register to vote, but if you are already registered, you should have hopefully received a polling card through the post with the details of your polling station. You do not, however, need to take this polling card with you to the polling station to vote. As long as you know your name and your address, you can have your name ticked off on the register when you go into the polling station. This also means if you haven't received a polling card through the post but think you might be or are registered to vote, maybe you registered to vote for the first time in the Brexit referendum, you should still be registered, but if you haven't received a polling card, it's worth turning up to a polling station on the day and seeing if your name is on the register. You never know, many people have not received their polling cards but have been registered to vote, so it's worth finding out if you're not sure by going to the polling station. If you're not sure what your polling station is, you can find out by entering your postcode in online. I will link a website down below so that you can do that. It should be on your polling card if you've received it, but if you haven't and want to double check, then you can do that. Another really important thing to remember is what's going to be on your polling card. You personally are voting for who will be the MP of your constituency. Then the leader of the party with the largest number of MPs will become the Prime Minister. So you will not turn up to the polling station unless you live in Theresa May or Jeremy Corbyn's constituency and see either of their names on your polling slip. Theresa May is our current Prime Minister and the leader of the Conservative Party, and Jeremy Corbyn is the leader of the Labour Party, who are the current second largest party in the UK. Do not expect to find a polling card in front of you that says, do you vote for Theresa May or Jeremy Corbyn? Your polling card will have the names of the people standing for MPs in your constituency, and this will usually include MPs for all of the largest parties. Each of the people standing to be your MP will have which party they are standing for beside their name. So if you're not certain about the name of the person you want to vote for, but do know which party you want to vote for, i.e. you want to vote for Conservatives or Labour, then just make sure you tick the box next to the person standing for that party, and that detail will be given. Also remember only to check one box on your paper. This is not an opportunity to place votes for multiple candidates. You can only mark one box, and if you mark any more than that, your ballot will be spoiled and not counted. Equally, make sure not to doodle or write anything else on your polling card for the risk of it also being spoiled. If you do have any questions on polling day, however, there are attendants at every polling station that should hopefully be able to answer those questions for you. Unless you're asking them who to vote for, they might not be able to advise you on that. I'm assuming though at this point most of us know who we are going to vote for, but it is incredibly important that as many people turn out to this election as possible. There are no certainties, and it doesn't just matter who the Prime Minister is. It matters matters what the distribution of seats are in Parliament, because that will affect legislation in the future, having an impact on each and every one of our lives. The turnout in general elections over the past few has significantly decreased, so sheer numbers of people turning out to the polling station are what is going to make a difference. Wouldn't it be wonderful, regardless of who you're voting for, if we could have an amazing standout turnout this polling day to demonstrate whoever takes seats as MPs in this general election that we are out there, that we do care, and that we are going to have our voices heard through this general election and afterwards. This video isn't an opportunity for me to tell you who to vote for. If you want to know who I'm voting for, you can easily find out on my Twitter, as I've been sharing many posts from that party making it pretty clear who I support. But do feel free to ask me any further questions you have in the comments down below. And to all of you who are able to vote in this general election, I thank you personally.